Well, he isn't being voiced by The Rock or dying in the first episode.
It's been a while.
He also isn't in a live action movie dying in the first part.
You deserve a better death. Then again.
And unfortunately, he's not being voiced by a legendary radio DJ.
I want to boot some Decepticon right in his turbocharger.
Who also happened to voice one of the most famous cartoon characters of all time.
Thanks, Velma. Like in another moment, that freaky tiki would have made poi out of this boy.
Wait, you mean you didn't know that Casey Kasem was the voice of both Cliffjumper and Shaggy Rogers from Scooby-Doo?
Well, now you do.
Finally, we get a new Generation 1 style Cliffjumper that isn't just a repainted clone of Bumblebee. How do I know this? Because in the new War for Cybertron series, with both Siege and Earthrise, there hasn't been a Bumblebee released yet. But now we have Cliffjumper. And what a Cliffjumper he is. It's absolutely a really, really nice sculpt of the figure. And he doesn't come with a ton of accessories, but I really am enjoying these two blaster cannons. I mean, technically it's one gun that you can turn into several parts, but most of the time when I have him on display, I have him as two pistols. But it does really resemble the shoulder-fired cannon that he used against Megatron in the first ever episode of Transformers back in the early 80s.
I've got Megatron dead center in my viewfinder.
Well, let's face it, he wasn't that good of a shot with it. Okay, so let's get to transforming him from his robot mode into his vehicle mode. First thing you do is pop off this piece of his trunk off of his back. It just has a peg that holds it on there when he's in robot mode. And then I like to start with his feet. First thing, these panels on the back need to open all the way up. And once they are open, then you can then rotate the foot down and bring the tire into the wheel well. Same thing on the other side. And now if you want to, you can put his legs right together and tab the 2 feet together, but I like to leave them apart just so a little flexibility here. You rotate the torso, and now we can open up the chest, and inside is a panel that covers up his face. And then put the chest plate back down. That becomes the cab of the car. Now we have his arms that we have to, this is the tricky part. His legs need to fold, as you can see, because his feet are actually the front part of the car. So in the center, they have a double hinge that you have to fold forward while at the same time working them past his arms and the panels there, because his arm panels become his rear fenders. So once you get that negotiated and moved out of the way, then you can tab the feet together and tab the hood scoop into the hood. And then we just tab the doors into the rear fenders. And then we just rotate his shoulders down and the elbow up so that his forearm basically is going to lay flat against the undercarriage. Now make sure his fists are turned so that they're in the position that you see here. because his hands are actually what holds the back half of the car on. Just making a little adjustment. Okay. And then we'll put this on here. Just line everything up, and you can see those pegs that are on the underside of the trunk under the bumper there will fit right into the slots on his hands. And then we just tab that in. And everything seems all nice and square. And there we have Cliffjumper in all his glory with his nice clean paint job. The only thing about this mode that I'm not happy with is I really wish they would have kept the Autobot logo on the roof of the car so that when he was in robot mode, it would be visible on his chest instead of it only being visible when he's in his car mode. That's the only complaint, really. I love the way this figure looks. I really enjoy the vehicle mode. It's nice and smooth and clean with not a whole lot of real problems with transforming it. It doesn't get overly complicated like Wheeljack or Mirage. It's very, very easy to work with nice smooth lines. I just wish that darn Autobot logo was on the roof and not on the hood. All right, he has a little secondary thing here with his accessories. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. I've never seen this in any version of any animated series. I don't know where they got the idea for this, but you break the shoulder cannon down and it has these tabs on the undercarriage of the car that has, and there's a corresponding slot onto the hand grips of the guns. So you can hook them in and they become like these either these side cannons or thrusters or whatever you want them to be. And again, there's some slots by his front tires that you'll take the bipod from one of the guns, and they have little tabs that will fit right in, that they become skis to the underside of the car, so that it's kind of a rocket powered snowmobile car that no longer rolls, so we have to just kind of shove it along. Now, there is one final piece of his shoulder cannon that fits in the undercarriage. I don't know what happened while I was shooting all of this. I somehow neglected to film that part, but that black part that goes in the backside of the gun does fold open and fits underneath in the center of the undercarriage, so that way all of his accessories are in use in this mode. So now let's get on with the comparisons. First up, we see Cliffjumper next to his good friend Hound. Now this is also a deluxe figure, so you can see that even though Cliffjumper is classified as deluxe, he is smaller than a normal deluxe. And then we have good old Earthrise Optimus Prime, who is a leader class figure. And as you can see, Cliffjumper is only about half the size of Earthrise Optimus. And now we have Commander class Jetfire. And Cliffjumper only comes up to his knees. Jetfire is a big boy. And then finally, we have Titan class Omega Supreme. And I think he might step on Cliffjumper and doesn't even know he's there.
Information unnecessary.
And there you have it, guys. That is Earthrise Cliffjumper. And I'm so glad Hasbro finally decided to make another one. And there'll be a link down below on where you can get one yourself. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, then please leave me a like and subscribe. And don't forget, after subscribing, to click on the bell to receive notifications when new content is up. If you feel I missed something, or you just have a question, drop it down below and I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. I really do try to read all of them. And again, thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.